These are concepts for organizing and managing the small business with Livayo. And we're looking at the Livayo driver propensity. So we know in every business, there's a product that the business makes and delivers. There's a market it needs to attract and sell. It needs to have money that flows and to measure what matters. And it has to have management to organize and execute. We also know that owners come to each business with what we call a propensity. So a propensity is a leaning, a tendency. So some people have a propensity for liking the cold. Some people have a propensity for liking warm. Some people have a propensity for, getting up in the morning and being productive. And some people have a leaning or a propensity or a tendency to be more of a night owl. The same thing is true of owners that come into businesses. They have propensities. Some may have a propensity more for marketing or for money or for being, really high quality product or for being management. Well, we also know that these drivers and these propensities have personalities. So the person who is more product oriented thinks I. The person who is more marketing oriented tends to say yes a lot. The person who is more money oriented tends to say no a lot. And that's why, by the way, we don't have money in green. We have money in red because it tends to match the personality of people who have a propensity for managing money. And then you have the person who is more management oriented, and they tend to use the word we. Here's the reason why this matters. Under stress, under critical decision making, we tend to fall into the lowest common denominator personality we have. We tend to become most like our deepest self, and our decisions come from there. So if you have a business with a person, in this case, say Gene, who is more product oriented, they tend to solve problems with trying to improve quality. And they tend to say, I will solve that. I can solve that. They believe that, product believes it's the center of the universe, everything revolves around it, and it can solve any problem. If you have, say, Juan, who owns a business, and he's more marketing focused, much more customer focused, he's going to want to try to solve every solution by trying some new way of getting customers. Let's try this out. Let's spend a little money and experiment. You can't make money unless you spend money. So you tend to get a business that is trying constantly to create customers. That's how it solves its problem. You then have, say, Rami, who owns a business, and maybe they're much more money focused. Maybe they're an accountant type, and they're very good with numbers and very good with money. And they're not so much concerned with the product of the business is, and they think marketing is important, but they want to hold on to that cash. They're the folks who say cash is king, and without cash you can't do anything, and you tend to have this person say no a lot. And then you take the person, say in this case Pam, who's more management type, and when it comes to solving problems, their solution is always to have a meeting, always to talk about things, always to get together, to collaborate, to get along. And they're always talking we. Well, here's what happens. What happens when you have Gene on a business is you tend to work a lot on the product jobs, but what happens is you don't do much marketing, and particularly the management processes aren't paid attention to very well. You tend to make okay money, but you tend to not grow very well because you can't grow beyond the competency and the control of the product person. You might have Juan then, who has a business, and Juan will accept lower level quality because they believe that the customer will accept the pitch. They'll accept the reason why the product is there versus the actual quality. And you tend to have less money because marketing has spent all that money in an effort to get customers. If you have say Rami, who owns this business, you'll probably have a lot of cash in the bank, but you don't do much marketing and it doesn't really grow. And Rami is constantly trying to manage the product person to produce more products or to produce better products, and tells the marketing person, well, I want you to prove to me that marketing thing is going to work before we try it, which of course is the opposite of how marketing works. And then if you have Pam, who owns a business, you tend to have pretty good attention to product and marketing, but most people who are in management don't have that real feel for money, and you tend to not have a very profitable business. You tend to still under invest, and you kind of under try things because management wants to make it kind of all work together. Here's what Livayo does. What Livayo does is it aims at achieving balance in driver performance to overcompensate for the propensity of the owner. So Livayo comes and says, I don't care what your propensity is, because we're going to cover all these jobs, make sure all the tasks are done across all the drivers to ensure that that owner propensity does not come into play and we get ourselves lopsided. And so that's where we come in with the drivers, the job chart, to make sure that the entire business is covered, so that there are jobs that cover all aspects of the business, and the recurring tasks are aimed at achieving all those jobs and measuring whether or not certain drivers are getting too much attention or not enough attention. And so what we're trying to accomplish is to maintain balance across all those drivers. And our premise is, of course, that if you have propensity, if you have performance across all those drivers, that you increase the probability of having a business that is more prosperous, that will last longer, and create more happiness for the owner. And that is the Livayo driver propensity.